Well, greetings, salutations, and good Saturday afternoon to you. Devin Dixon, Caden Formaster here on Trailblazer Sports Vision and the Fan Sports Network. And it's been a while, Caden. Back home for the Trailblazers, searching for that elusive win number 1. Trailblazers hosting Austin Peay, the Govs, in town today here in St. George. And this is one of the furthest west trips they've ever taken. In fact, other than the Sac State game they took a few years back, this is the furthest west the Govs have been. So long road trip out from Tennessee as we get ready for some Saturday matinee football, first home matinee game of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's nice to have an afternoon game, switch it up a little bit. We've had a bunch of evening games here in Southern Utah. We've seen some on the road in the afternoon, but nice matinee game indeed is going to be nice. But, Austin Peay is as much of a powerhouse as they were last season. They did have a lot of guys that left for whatever reason, whether it was graduating or transfer portal or whatever. And this is a team that has kind of taken a few notches down here for the UAC. So when you talk about this matchup here for Utah Tech, what we're really talking about is this is actually a team here that I feel like Utah Tech might match up a little bit better against than, say, how they've done against a Tarleton State recently or any of these ranked opponents. That's the problem, too, is Utah Tech's played a ton of ranked teams. So it might be kind of a breath of fresh air to have someone that's around your level, around the same spot in the standings here in the UAC, and Austin Peay is one of those programs.
Scotty Waldron left, took the UTEP job, So, probably had some players go in the portal, go there with coach. So, you got a brand new coach taking over here. 2-4 the Govs, 1-2 in UAC play. And again, Trailblazers winless on the season, 0-3 in conference play and 0-7 overall. So those are the numbers as we get ready for a lighter slate today. You look around the UAC, this is one of only 3 games. West Georgia is the only game going on right now. They're looking for their first win of the season, too. They're the newcomer to the conference, and they are up 14-0 against Shorter. Do you know what city Shorter College is at?
No.
North Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh.
That's where they're from. I did not know that. I had to look that up yesterday.
Okay.
We were talking about that on the show yesterday on the Fan Sports Network, and I had to look that up. I'm like, I don't know where Shorter's at. So
that's news to me, too.
But the Govs found their way to St. George. They are here, and we are ready for some football. And, again, it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot to get to here. Our coverage of Trailblazer football presented by Sand Hollow Resort. Get on out there, play 18 holes on the championship course. Quick 9 on the Scottish Link course. They got 27 holes. They've got events at the Rock Bowl. They've got villas where you can do nightly stays, stay and play packages. Go to sandhollowresort.com, and the food at the grill is absolutely fantastic. Trust me, you got to have that Sunday brunch, sandhollowresort.com. Caden, we're going to talk with Bronson Barbin here in a little bit. I got to catch up with Bronson Barbin, and it's been a while since we've seen Bronson Barbin because he was on a 2-year mission. He's been home for less than 4 months, and he's probably going to get the start today.
Yeah, it's really exciting to have him back here in Southern Utah, coming off of the mission, and being that he played his high school ball right here in Southern Utah at Dixie High School. I got the opportunity to go and call some of those games for him. But remember that senior year, he had the ankle injury, and so there wasn't a lot that we even saw from him towards the tail end of his high school career. So it's nice to have him back here again, so we can get a little bit more Bronson Barbin and that Barbin family. Those guys are some talented football players. So it's really exciting. Of course, we'll catch up with him later on here in the pregame show.
Yeah, we'll talk with Gabe Valenzuela as well. Got the first interception of the season for the defense last week. Had 9 tackles. He was a former walk-on from the L.A. area who's starting to really come into his own a little bit. Both teams young. Both teams have some inactive players, some injuries. We've got a couple Trailblazers. Fisher Jackson comes to mind. It's going to be a game-time decision. We're going to be keeping an eye on that. But, you're going into the 8th game of the season, so you're going to have some guys that are going to get nicked up and get knocked out. And, of course, the quarterback has been the big change. And so Barbin got his first career start last week. Reggie Graff got a little nicked up. He's still in some packages. We're going to see both former Dixie Flyers in this game, but we've seen Deacon Hill. We've seen Luke McPhail. We've seen 4 quarterbacks this year for Coach Anderson. We saw a really good Bronson Barbin in the second half of the game out there at North Alabama, where he came in and threw for 2 touchdowns, but no points last year. Utah Tech enters this game after getting beat at Tarleton, who jumped up to number 9 and 10 in the FCS polls, depending on which poll you look at. 42-0 the final score, so no points there for the offense. They've got to change that today against the Govs.
They do. They got to do something. They got to get that offense rolling quick, and that's one of those key emphasis points that whenever we talk with Coach Anderson about when we say, hey, what do we got to do to get some points on the board early, and he does talk about the emphasis on at practices. They're getting out there and they're getting to work, and they're getting to work early. They're not easing into practice, and they just want to make sure that these guys know what it's like to get out there and just be explosive immediately. And so it is something that they're working on, is trying to get points on the board a little earlier into these games. And, maybe you just got to do something for the offense that's just going to surprise this Austin Peay defense. And, this is a defense. It's a really good passing defense. Last week I was watching some of the game film from their game, I guess a couple weeks ago, since they are coming off of a bye, but they did play West Georgia a few weeks ago. And that pass defense against West Georgia was pretty good. They were locking up the receivers really quite well. So I think for Utah Tech, you got to know that that's going to be a part of their game, and just make sure that you're calling the right plays at the right times.
Can the Trailblazers get that elusive first win? We're about to find out. Kickoff 2:00. Kate and I got lots to do, lots to get to. Really quickly, let's run down the standings in the United Athletic Conference going into today's games. 3-0. Tarleton State sits at the top, 6-1 overall, and then it's pretty crowded right there behind them. Abilene Christian is 3-1 in conference play. North Alabama, they had such a slow start to the season, but now they've rattled off a bunch of wins in conference play. Central Arkansas, SUU, they're both 2-1. Eastern Kentucky, they're 1-1. They are one of the teams playing today. They will play Abilene Christian. Only 3 matchups again in UAC play. You got that West Georgia shorter game, Utah Tech hosting Austin Peay, and then Abilene Christian at Eastern Kentucky. Everybody else taking the bye week today.
Yeah, taking that bye week off. And, we'll see what this means, though, for the UAC after this week, where the standings kind of line up, because, when a lot of teams aren't playing, they're not moving anywhere. So this is a good opportunity, actually, for Utah Tech to try to jump up a little bit in the polls, getting a win here over Austin Peay, who already has a win in the UAC. If you can get that win, you at least improve beyond them, and hopefully you can continue to climb up that ladder as the season rolls on.
The defensive numbers, the defensive points against, Trailblazers giving up 48 a game. The run game giving up north of 300 yards a game, and that's probably one of the strengths. I think, it's going to be paramount for the Trailblazers to try to commit to putting 7-8 in the box and stopping the run, and making Austin Smith, who we think is going to get the start for the Govs, the quarterback, maybe beat him with his arm.
Yeah, and he is someone who is also kind of mobile. Like you mentioned, you got to stack that box. And O'Shawn Allison, their running back, is really solid. I mean, he put on a big show a few weeks ago at West Georgia as well. So their running game is strong. So if you can make them do it through the air, then that's probably going to be your best chance here to win.
Govs, last time out, they did beat West Georgia. It was a close game, though. It was 2016. 2016, the final score. That was the first conference win for the Govs of the year. They're looking for number 2. By the way, if you look at the books and the odds and the spreads, Utah Tech 14.5-point underdogs at home in this game today.
Yeah, they are, which means they got their work cut out for them, really. That's what that means, and that just means you got to show up. You got to be fully prepared. You got to execute the game plan, and making sure that execution is top priority. And, it's one of those things that defensive coordinator Coach Patrick Moynihan talks about a lot, is doing your 1/11th, right? He just wants to make sure that everybody's doing their portion and executing their portion. If they can do that, then they'll be okay here against Austin Peay.
All right, Devin Dixon, Caden Formaster, pregame underway here on the Fan Sports Network, Trailblazers Sports Vision. Glad you're listening or watching. We're going to take a time out. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, I got a chance to go one-on-one, sit down and chat with Bronson Barbin. He's going to join us. Gabe Valenzuela is going to stop by and start our pregame show. And then we'll kind of break down the stats of the 4 quarterbacks that have played for the Trailblazers. Plus, there's some other storylines we'll get to just a little bit later. Kickoff 2:00. We're underway, getting you ready for it here, St. George. Stay with us on the Fan Sports Network. Back after this timeout and message from our great local partners.
Need an appliance or two? AWP's got you. Check out the remodeled expansive showroom, highlighting the cafe series with colors like matte black, matte white, and modern glass. Make your kitchen stand out. Come see the local boys at AWP across the freeway from the Bloomington Walmart.
Create your own relaxing, comfortable space. Boulevard Home offers the guaranteed best prices on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. And buy with no interest financing. Shop Boulevard Home, because home is who we are.
Your child's sports journey starts with the City of St. George Recreation. From their first steps on the court or field to becoming a star player, our youth sports programs are here to develop talents and teamwork skills. So get out and play. Check out all the sports and get signed up at sgcityrec.org.
We love giving back to our community, and over the years, we have provided vehicles for families in need, supported local charities, and helped train our first responders. Dealer Collision, your place for collision repair.
At Great Harvest, we believe in crafting more than just bread. We provide crisp, garden-fresh salads and savory sandwiches. Everything from garden-fresh ingredients to our signature handcrafted bread. Our friendly staff will guide you to find a meal that will leave you craving seconds. At Great Harvest, we truly provide something for everyone. And don't forget our baked goods. Satisfy your sweet tooth and finish your meal with a brownie or cinnamon roll. Come visit us at Great Harvest.
Hey, back live, everybody. Devin Dixon, Caden Formaster, and time to go one-on-one. We've got Bronson Barbin and our player spotlights brought to you by Swinson and Shelley. And, of course, 24/7, you can get a consultation on your case if you've been injured, swinsonandshelley.com. And had a chance to catch up with Bronson Barbin, chat about what the adjustment's like coming off that 2-year mission to now starting quarterback for the Trailblazers. Bronson Barbin with me, getting ready for another home game for the Trailblazers. Austin Peay coming to town. Bronson, what's going on, man? It wasn't too long ago you were out serving the church. You've only been home like 3-4 months.
Yeah. I just got back a few months ago, and it's been awesome. It's been great being back, and just getting back into football mode. Really, the mission and football, are a lot different, but the mission really helped me in a lot of ways, and I think that also applied to football as well. So I'm excited to be back.
Maybe for people that aren't from Utah or don't know much about, the LDS Church, tell everybody what that's like for 2 years, being away from the game, and then within 3-4 months starting at Division I football at the quarterback position. It's got to be kind of a whirlwind.
Yeah, for sure. Part of my belief is that, we should serve others and help others to come into Christ. So I had the opportunity to go to Chile for 2 years, and during that time, you're just focused on serving others, and I didn't have a lot of time to throw the football around, and so when I got back, I was a little rusty for sure, but as time's gone on, and just practicing and just being in the weight room and being with the coaches and on the field, I've been able to grow a lot, and just keep getting better. While you're out there, I know you're serving the church, but did you get a chance to at least throw a ball once or twice, maybe get some push-ups in? Take me through that. Yeah, every day they give us like 30 minutes to work out, so I would use that time definitely to do a lot of push-ups, sit-ups. I bought like a pull-up bar, so I was doing a lot of pull-ups as well. I brought some bands, so just trying to keep the shoulder strong, but it's pretty rough. And then I think just like once a week we'd get to go out and throw the football around, so it was a great experience. You got 2 former Dixie Flyers that have both gotten some opportunity this season, you and Reggie Graff. What's that quarterback room like, and how did some of those guys with a little more experience, open up to you and help you and kind of be positive with you as you're getting that rush took off? Yeah, all the quarterbacks have been great. They've helped me a ton, especially Reggie. I was his backup in high school, and so just being able to learn from him, and Deacon Hill as well, and Luke, they've all taken me in and helped me learn this offense, because I was getting here in the summer, they were here in the spring, so they had already gotten a little familiar with the offense, so they were great. They helped me a ton to just understand my reads, understand, what I need to do, the footwork and stuff, so all of them have been great, Skyler and Ty as well, so, we just keep competing as a group. I'm curious, one more question on this. What was the quickest to regain after 2 years off of football, and what's taken the longest to kind of get back that you had before you left? I think the quickest to get back was my weight. I dropped like 30 pounds when I was on my mission, and so I got back and I started eating a lot, and then something that's been pretty rough, I would say, is just Just the little things like my footwork, ball placement, accuracy, being away, not being able to throw the football, it takes a while to get that back, but, slowly it's starting to come back.
Never lost any velocity, though?
I mean, when I first got back a little bit, but, yeah, it's come back for sure.
You talked to me a little bit about this season so far. You kind of sat back, watched your backup, and in the last 2 games, you come in, throw a couple touchdowns. I want your thoughts on that, what it felt like to get back out there. It's been a while since you've thrown a touchdown pass. Yeah. And then what was it like, second question, getting your first career start last weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. All the quarterbacks, again, have been so good. Coach Stevens, he's really helped me just to understand the offense as well. And it was really surreal just being in there. It's always been my dream to play in a college football game. So getting that first one was awesome, and then being able to start, that was a great experience. There was a ton of things that I was able to take away from that first start, and I've just been learning a lot. So
obviously it's tough when you don't put any points up. You get beat 42-0. They jumped out on you quick and kind of went in cruise control there. What were a couple of the takeaways that were positives, even though you guys got beat the way you did?
Yeah, I think just some big takeaways, I would say. We had a drive that, we started on their 4-yard line, and we were able to go down like 90, 95 yards, and we almost put it in. And that's a real positive, is just being able to, move the sticks and stay on the field. And, that's one of the biggest things that, we've been working on this week, is just being more consistent and, keeping drives alive.
Give me a couple keys. What do you see on film defensively from Austin Peay as they come here to Greater Zion Stadium this Saturday afternoon? It's a 2 o'clock kickoff, baby.
Yeah, I mean, Austin Peay is a great team. They have a great defense as well. So, they do a lot of zones. So we're just going to try to find, the holes when they're open and just take what the defense gives us.
Bronson Barber and everybody, good to catch up with you. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Saw him a lot before he went on his mission. Great quarterback over there at the high school level, because he grew up, born and raised, played at Dixie High School, and then made that smooth transition. He really didn't have a lot of offers. Paul Peterson, the previous Utah Tech coach, was the one that gave him the scholarship offer, and Coach Anderson, rewards it and kept it in place. And all of a sudden, here we are halfway through the season. He's now starting his second career start. That's what we're being told. We will see Reggie Graff, though, play in this game, another former Dixie Flyer quarterback. There's 17 Region 9 kids on this Utah Tech roster, and there's been a lot of people for years like, how come Utah Tech, Dixie State, Dixie Junior College don't have more local kids? Well, they do, but they're all really young. They're going to be really good, but they just need some time in the college weight room. Get in the weight room. You need an off season or two. Get that man bod drone in. But man, Bronson Barber standing up next to him doing that interview. He looks good. He looks fit. He lost 30 pounds in Chile. He said he was eating rice and chicken pretty much the whole time. So he's put most of that back on now, and the velocity is there. This is a guy that has a big arm. He's got a strong arm. And you look at the quarterback stats for Bronson Barber. In 1.5 games, 23 of 49, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 271 yards. So $135 in those 2 games he played. And he's the guy moving forward. And I think that's by design, right? Let's just turn this quarterback room loose. Let's let the young guy play. Let's get him some experience. Let's see what he can do. Deacon Hill's been banged up. When Luke Maffeo's had his shot, he hasn't been very effective. So they're really thinking, okay, Bronson, show us you can be the future guy for the next 3 years beyond this one at the quarterback position, such an important position in all of college football.
Yeah, it is really important, and he's making the most of it. And, this opportunity isn't always given to a true freshman, right? So for him to be able to step into this position and again, do it well enough, right? He's been able to do it well enough to hold it now for a couple weeks. But, you never want to see anyone go down. Deacon Hill, of course, gone out with injury. But, when those opportunities present itself, you just got to take those. You got to take those chances. And we do, of course, want to see Deacon Hill be able to recover and maybe make some sort of comeback. But in the meantime, Bronson Barber's got his shot right here, and it's great for the local kid. 89
attempts for Reggie Graff this year, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. 75 attempts for Deacon Hill, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Only 49 for Barber, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Right. So if he can keep trending in a positive direction, they only have 7 touchdown passes in that quarterback room. Not near enough. And of course, doesn't help that they're 7-8 offensive linemen that have went down already since spring and now into the season. They're on 9, 10, 11, 12, 13th offensive linemen. There's been some key injuries, and you're only as good as your offensive line. And,
that's true.
And that's been a struggle for the Trailblazers, obviously, given quarterbacks time. That's why Reggie Graff kind of made sense, and we saw probably the most positive impact from Reggie because he was the dual threat of that crew.
Right. That's one of the things that Reggie brings that we don't see from this quarterback room as much, is just how good he is on his feet. He's pretty elusive that way. And that's some of the packages you're still going to see even in today's game, is you're going to see Reggie Graff coming in on maybe a 3rd and short. Because here's the thing, even if he doesn't run it, he still at least has the arm to get it done. But that's what makes it really fun, is when the defense sees that he's coming into the game, they're assuming run, right? So you can use those packages to your advantage and say, all right, the defense is going to think he's running, but is he? It creates that question mark, and that is fun to see when he checks into the game, whether they actually put him on the run or let him take to the sky.
It'll be fun. We'll see what Reggie Graff, what kind of packages they have, and then we'll see Bronson Bartman, see what kind of day he can have. Quarterback play going to be real important if Coach Anderson and the Blazers are going to win their first win of the season here at home against Austin Peay. All right, quick break. When we come back, more pregame presented by our friends at Ernie's Stores. Yeah, stop by Ernie's, Beaver, Cedar, Hurricane, and in St. George. Get the Sinclair app. They got the best chicken strips in the West. Your drinks, your snacks, your fuel, all at Ernie's Sinclair stores around southern Utah. When we come back, Gabe Valenzuela got that pick last week. He'll drop by. We'll chat with Gabe right after this.
Huge news! Sport Court has a brand new showroom and design center, and it's next level. See why so many are choosing Sport Court here in Southern Utah for top quality basketball, pickleball, and multi-purpose courts. Learn more at sportcourtofsouthernutah.com.
From bold statements to subtle compliments, Wilkinson's House of Lighting will help you more fully enjoy all the different spaces in your home. Find us online at shopwilkinsons.com or come in and see what's new. 88 East, 1160 South, just off Main.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
You could wander around a warehouse store forever and never find the one thing that could make all the difference. A helpful face? Now that's something to consider. Everything your local Bucks A stands for is written on our faces. Welcoming, neighborly, knowledgeable. When you're in need of a helpful face, visit one of our 3 Southern Utah locations.
Gabe Valenzuela with me here, hanging out, getting you ready for another home game for the Trailblazers. They've been on the road a couple weeks in a row, and Austin Peay coming to town. But Gabe, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Let's get to know you a little bit before we dive into football talk.
Okay, my name is Gabe Valenzuela. I'm from Southern California, pretty much all over Los Angeles County.
Just tell me, how'd you end up at Utah Tech?
Oh, this is actually my 4th year here. I was part of the first Division I full season. I came along with that staff. I started off as a walk-on, and I actually earned a scholarship through Coach Anderson. But I knew somebody here that went to high school with, so I knew about the program. I knew what was going on. I was excited about it. It was one of my only opportunities, but I was really excited about coming here, and I was really looking forward to it. That's how I ended up here.
That's a great story, and we're glad to have you, man. Tell me about who's your biggest fan back home, and do your parents and siblings, aunts, uncles, they get to come to some games and watch you play sometimes?
Oh yeah, I just say my family as a whole. They all support me, both sides of my family, my mom and my dad. I got family in Vegas. We played down at Allegiant. We played UNLV. We had about like 40 people there.
Nice.
My mom and my dad's side, from both of them. So it was really nice. That was almost like a home game just because I got family down there. Southern California is not too far away. So, yeah, I say my family, my biggest support system for sure.
Gabe, last week you were our Burt Brothers player of the game. Tell me about that interception, buddy.
I try and go out there and play as hard as I can. That play, we were in man coverage, and I was just playing to my leverage. I know I had a post safety right there inside of me, so I was playing outside, and I just funneled into my help. And he ended up, the post safety came and had an impact on the play, and I just try and play hard every single play. So seeing the ball tipped up in the air, it was my opportunity. We've had so many opportunities this year to catch an interception off of a tip or just make a play, and I saw my opportunity and I took it.
Did you know going into the game that defensively you guys did not have one interception all year?
Oh yeah, It's been a big emphasis defensively, but especially in the DB room, those types of plays change the game. So we were looking to see who was going to be the first one, and I was actually out there. I don't know if it was that drive, maybe a couple of drives before we went out, but I was asking around. I was going to say who's going to get the first pick, and it ended up being me. But yeah, I was super excited about it.
I love it, Gabe. Talk to me a little bit about Austin Peay offensively. Give fans a little glimpse of how you guys can slow them down this Saturday.
As an offense, they like to spread the ball to two players. They run the ball a lot. They got a couple small receivers, but I say their main focus is they run the ball a lot. But we got to limit the big plays, fit run gaps, just stick to our assignments, stick to our leverage. Just know what we got to do, execute at a high level, trust our teammates, trust our coaches in the preparation that we put in, and then we'll be in the best position possible to go win the game. How hungry is this team in the locker room, in practice, and then on game day to get that elusive first win of the season? Very, I would say. Just because we show glimpses each and every game, and we show that we can play, we can be with all these teams, and we know that it's coming. We just got to put the pieces together. We got to come together as one group, as one team. But as a whole, I feel like it's coming soon. If it's not this, it's gonna be this game. This up game coming up. It's coming. It's coming. The first one is coming, and then many more are coming too. All right, watch for Gabe and watch for that first win in front of the home crowd. Mm-hmm. Gabe, thanks for stopping by. Great to get to know you, and good luck out there on the field. Yes, I appreciate it.
He's like, wait a minute. Yeah, it's coming. I forgot. We're going to win this game. Obviously, they are 14.5-point underdogs. We mentioned that earlier if you're just tuning in against the Govs. Austin Peay coming out from Clarksville, Tennessee, here to St. George, Utah. Furthest west they've been in a long time. It's been years. Second longest west trip they've ever made, the longest being out to Sacramento to take on Sac State a while back. They have been to Cedar City, too, but they don't get out this side of the country too often. So.
No. Now we get to a little bit more now with the UAC combined forces just last season, so they do get an opportunity to get on over here to Utah every so often.
The defense is going to have their hands full again. You're going to hear about this running back for the Govs. He is something else, and on the flip side, and his name again, you're going to hear O'Shawn Allison a lot today. But on the flip side, no Chris Street for the Trailblazers. Chris out tonight, I'm being told. So that means their running back room is going to be a little bit thinner and really young. Nigel Osborne or Bretton Stone will probably get the start. And then you've got Kona Crowell. And then you've got a couple other guys that really haven't ran the ball a ton this year either. So, in fact, we haven't even seen Chapman with a carry this year, Caden. So it can be interesting to see who carries the load for the Trailblazers from that running back room.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting. There's a lot of options out there, as you mentioned. But to see which one they go with is just going to be kind of a mystery until game time starts. So We'll see what they got.
I would expect Stone or Osborne to start, and then we'll see from there, but expect 3 or 4 of them to get a shot to play in this game today. Okay, Caden, we're going to kick it over to Rod and Max here in just a minute, but final thoughts from you here inside of our pregame show. Want to thank a couple sponsors real quick after you get some final thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts here is really just I'm excited for this nice matinee game. Hopefully this is an opportunity to, again, take on a like opponent in Austin Peay and just show them what you're made of. Execute. And hopefully that can lead you to a win here this afternoon.
That's something that the players have heard a lot. Execute. You know, their margin for error with this young team, it's thin. So they do have to execute. Everybody's got to do their job. And hopefully we're talking about the first Trailblazer win of the season in the postgame show a little bit later on this early part of the evening. All right, again, thanks to Sand Hall Resort, Ernie's Sinclair Stores, Swinson & Shelley's Attorneys at Law, Sun State Companies, our friends at Zag, get on over to Zag to protect your phone better, and our friends at State Bank of Southern Utah. All these great folks helping us bring you the pregame coverage here. Just part one. We got more pregame coming up. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to kick it over to Rod Zundel, Max Christensen III, and then we'll be back on the radio right at kickoff for you here on the Fan Sports Network. If you want to watch this game after we're done on Trailblazer Sports Vision, get to ESPN+. That's where you hear Rod and Max on the call. All right, here's Rod and Max.
Hey, let's go. Let's get it, baby. Out there, 1, 2, 3.
Garrett Fotuning Welcome to Trailblazer Kickoff, presented by Camping World of St. George. Your next great outdoor adventure begins under the big American flag.
Let's go!
Utah Tech still in search of their first win of 2024, while Austin Peay rolls into town looking for their second straight conference road win. We're 30 minutes from kick, Trailblazers and Governors.
And welcome inside Greater Zion Stadium here on the campus of Utah Tech University. Glad to have you aboard this afternoon for the matinee matchup, Trailblazers and the Governors of Austin Peay. Hi there, everybody. Rod Zundel, along with former Trailblazer defensive lineman Max Christensen III. And Max, Trailblazers trying to find themselves. The guys talked about it in the first half hour, but trying to find themselves, trying to find some way to feel some success and get that first win of the season.
And today's another opportunity for that, right? Every Saturday, another opportunity to get a little bit better, improve a little bit, see what this team has, see if they can get Lance Anderson his first win ever as a collegiate Division I head coach.
So when you look at the Trailblazers, they're a little bit shorthanded as well. The Chris Street, the starting running back, he is not going to be able to play today. He injured his hip last week, so he's out. So more touches for Britton Stone and Nigel Osborne, who basically has had one reception or one carry in the last 3 games. He's going to get a lot more playing time as well.
Yeah, and that's when you see guys step up on teams like that, right? Somebody goes down, it's the next man up mentality. That's what football is. Being able to step up, continue to improve, continue to grow, and with Chris Street out, this running game is going to need a big boost. It's going to be more running back by committee, things like that. But Nigel Osborne and Bretton Stone have been pretty effective with what they've been able to do in the past. Let's see if they can get a little bit more help, especially up front from that offensive line.
So Bronson Barb, the guys talked about it in the first half hour from Dixie High School, going to get a second straight start. Last week, talk about what you've seen from him from the last couple of weeks. Last week it was 18 to 40, 134 yards, interception versus Tarleton.
Yeah, 41 passes as a true freshman thrown in that game in his first ever start. He was pretty impressive. Being able to, at least from a poise standpoint, stood back there, was able to take some hits, was able to run the ball pretty effectively, while also being effective in the pass game as well. Again, throwing 41 passes in your first start ever in Division I college football is pretty daunting, especially for a true freshman, but he was able to at least be poised back there, step up, make some good throws, make a little bit of progress, do what he needed to do from that standpoint.
So the Trailblazers, they haven't been able to run the ball, and without Chris Street, the guys we talked about, going to get some extra time, but under 100 yards rushing. But that may change today because, you know what? Their receivers have not been able to stretch the field, but that could change because that guy right there, 6'4", 240-pound hybrid tight end wide receiver, Eni Falaie, injured in the first game. He's back and he's healthy, Max, and that could help a big time. That's the last we saw him in the fourth quarter 2 months ago.
Yeah, this could be a huge add for the Utah Tech Trailblazer offense. We talked about him all year coming up to the season because he looks the part. He's the guy you want getting off the bus first. Like you said, 6'4", 240 pounds, is able to stretch the field, is able to run, is able to do a lot of things in this offense, even take some handoffs as well. He's that athletic, that versatile with his game. He's able to do a lot of different things.
Had a chance to catch up with Eni Falaie after practice on Thursday to get his thoughts about coming back after missing basically 2 months of football.
Well, it was a long recovery in the training room, but I'm just excited to be back with my guys out there and we're ready to go to work.
Do you feel like you have any limitations?
Nah, I'm 100%. Let's go.
What's the anxiety like getting out there and showing what you can do?
I mean, I'm just going to go out there and do what I do. I'm just going to play my game, play within my reach, and go out there and help the team out in the best way.
So the knee, no limitations whatsoever?
We're 100%. Let's go.
What about your endurance, your wind? How's that?
We're ready to go. Coach is going to put me in a spot to be successful, so I'm not too worried about any stuff like that.
You know, man, a few words, but in that first game that we saw him at Montana State, the only game that he's played this year, 3 catches for 47 yards. One was a 37-yarder down the field, and the Trailblazers really haven't been able to do that on a consistent basis, stretch the field. And that can also affect the running game like we talked about, Max. So Bronson Barban's got to be the happiest guy to get Falaie back in the lineup.
You see, in today's age of football, when you're able to run an athletic tight end down the seam, it really changes the way your offense can go, as you mentioned, in the run game and also in the pass game, especially for a young quarterback.
So Chris Street will not play. And then on the defensive side, starting linebacker Spencer Rich, he's out. Jay Sweeten also plays a lot of linebacker. He's out. Jackson Smith, who is safety, they're moving him into inside linebacker. This is the first time he's going to really play a lot of inside linebacker. And that's an adjustment, moving from safety to linebacker in the trenches.
The closer you get to the ball, the faster things happen, the more physical the game is. You get the different tangents in football all the time.
Yeah.
We've talked about it all season. The injuries have plagued this team. Not only are they a young team, but on top of that, they've had a lot of injuries. That's a lot of bumps in the road right there.
Fisher Jackson, starting outside linebacker, has been banged up the last 2 weeks, gutted it out last week. He's going to be a game-time decision. He's down on the field right now trying to see if he's a go, and that's going to be a big loss, too, on the outside edge for the Trailblazers if he can't go.
Yeah, the Trailblazers need all the help they can get on the defense side of the football, especially when it comes to stopping the run and what Austin Peay wants to do in the run game especially.
All right, last week, Trailblazers got off to a tough start at Tarleton. Tarleton is now ranked in the top 10 in the country in FCS. They've got the former Trailblazer quarterback that you played with, Vic Gabalis. He's now 13-3 as a starter. They got some money that they can pay the players on the NIL to take away from us. Did I just say that? I think I did. But anyway, Vic Gabalis got the win over his former team. And even though they got shut out for the first time in 11 years, Max, there were some bright spots. And we're going to talk about that after we show you this edition of Sounds of the Game last week at Tarleton.
We're in Stephenville, Texas, the cowboy capital of the world, as the Trailblazers look to lasso their first win of the season against the 11th-ranked team in the nation in FCS, Tarleton State.
And welcome inside Memorial Stadium here on the campus of Tarleton State University. Glad to have you aboard this evening. Bronson Barbin, the true freshman, getting his first start. The former Dixie Flyer, wearing jersey number 8, trots out onto the field.
Drop it.
Across the middle, caught, 35-40, 45 out to the 47-yard line, and that's Brenton Stone. And fights his way down to the 26-yard line. Down goes Victor Gabalis. Will Oliveo. The little screen. It's caught by Stone. It's a first down out near the 39-yard line. Gabe Valenzuela on the tip ball makes the interception, and that is the first interception of the season for this Trailblazer defense. Out in the flat, caught by Stone. 40, 45, midfield, down the sidelines, belted out of bounds. Parker makes the catch, tiptoes on the sideline while he's falling flat out of bounds. What a catch by Bryce Parker, and what a throw by Bronson.
Drop it.
He's tackled for a loss. Fisher Jackson, who's been banged up and limited all week in practice, is there to make a tackle. Trailblazers leave West Texas looking for their first win of the season next week back home in St. George against Austin Peay. And that's where we sit right now as we count down the minutes to kick off Utah Tech and the Austin Peay Governors. Rod Zund along with Max Christensen. When you look at those highlights, Max, there were some bright spots in that. And going back and looking in that first half, the Trailblazers left about 21 points on the field and not on the scoreboard. Talking with Coach Grace Stevens, the offensive coordinator, he said Bronson made the reads, but he just missed a couple of throws. You expect that out of a freshman. He expects Bronson to make those throws this week because guys were wide open. Breakdown in blocking schemes caused him to force one. Wide open tight end he missed, and he overthrew one across the middle that would have scored a touchdown. And then they had a drop by Jay McEwen. He was right in the end zone, had to wait for it. He was so wide open, the toughest catch of all, right? So they had their opportunities. Now we're going to see if another game under his belt for Bronson Barbin, the true freshman, to see if he can make those throws so they can feel some success.
There's always going to be some growing pains with a young quarterback, right? We all know that in the game of football. But as you said, they need to feel some success, some glory, some sort of sensibility to this season. Because it's been tough. It's been hard, right? See if they can rewrite the ship today against Austin Peay here at home in this matinee matchup.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will take a closer look at Austin Peay and the problems they're going to present for the Trailblazers. And also, we're going to the film room. Coach Lance Anderson breaks down a couple of plays that worked and then the same play that didn't earlier in the game. That's when Trailblazer kickoff comes back.
D.R. Horton is America's largest home builder, but with a local heart. Nestled just west of the Sand Hollow Recreation Area is a 600-acre master planned community with beautifully designed single-family homes, cottages, and townhomes called Long Valley. Visit us at drhorton.com and join us in continuing the American dream of home ownership and build your next home with D.R. Horton, America's builder.
Experience the magic of southern Utah from the sky and the ground at Confetti Pebbles Hot Air Balloons. They take you on breathtaking journeys across the stunning landscapes of St. George, Hurricane, and beyond. But why just visit when you can live here? Priority First Real Estate is dedicated to helping you find your dream home. Together, they bring you closer to the community, closer to nature, closer to home. Confetti Pebbles Hot Air Balloons and Priority First Real Estate, where adventure meets home.
Hey there, sports fans. Ready to take a time out from the sidelines and jump into the action? St. George Regional Airport has you covered. Score big with convenient flights that take you from our Red Rocks to destinations around the globe. Whether it's the bright lights of L.A. or an exotic getaway across the Pacific, your adventure starts right here at home. When you're planning that epic getaway, St. George Regional Airport is your home field advantage.
All right, welcome back to Greater Zion Stadium. Counting down the minutes till kickoff, Utah Tech and Austin Peay, the Governors, coming into town. This is their first meeting here in St. George. The only other meeting between these two last year when Trailblazers, Austin Peay was a top 15 team. Trailblazers, battled them close until the fourth quarter. Then they pulled away to get the win. You were part of that. Yeah. You guys played pretty well for 3 quarters last year.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, was it 30-17, I think was the final score?
Yeah, and you guys cut it to 21-17 midway through the third quarter, and we're going, all right, this could be the upset of the year right here.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a tough game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were the conference champions, did a lot of good things last year. We were able to go in there, close game, but weren't able to get it done. Hopefully, again, these guys can have a little bit of a revenge game for us.
And they won that game, and they clinched the co-conference championship. Then their coach bolted. And so Jeff Ferris is the first-year coach, just like Lance Anderson for the Trailblazers. This is first ever head coaching job. So they're 2-4, 1-2 in conference play. They're coming off a bye week, but 2 weeks ago they went into West Georgia and got their first conference win, their first road win of the season against West Georgia, 20-16. So they're looking for back-to-back wins coming off a bye week. Now, when you look at Austin Peay, you have to look at their running game. They've won 2 of their last 3 games, and it's all because of the ground game, Big Max.
They've really had a turnaround when it comes to the run game. You look at the first 3 games of their season, they only rushed for 78 yards a game.
Yeah.
The last 3, they've had a renaissance, 270 yards a game. Coach Ferris said that the offensive line has been the most improved group over the course of the season, and it shows.
And their quarterback right there, Austin Smith, he started all but the first game. He's had 27 rushing attempts in the last 2 games. That's a lot for a quarterback. Only threw for 50, 60 yards against West Georgia, but he directed them on a game-winning drive in the final minutes of that fourth quarter to get the win. And that's what Coach Ferris talked about, said he may not have the numbers to dazzle you, but when it's time to get things done, he got it done.
And coaches don't really care about numbers. They care about the win and loss column.
Yeah.
And so as long as you're getting the win, numbers don't matter.
Also, Jeff Ferris talked about his team, saying the improvement they have made in stopping the run has been impressive in his eyes. They were giving up nearly over 250 yards a game in the first 3 games, but the last 3 games only giving up 95 yards rushing a game, and they're 2-1 in those games. So they're running the ball now, and they're stopping the run. That's a good combination to get yourself better.
Being able to win in the trenches is a huge deal in college football, as we still see today. We see that there's this air raid, there's a lot of passes, it's focused on the quarterback and the pretty boys. No, it is still won and lost. The battle is still in the trenches.
Oh, man.
That is how football is made, and that's how football is won.
Spoken like a true defensive lineman right there. All right, time now to hit the film room. Head coach Lance Anderson of the Trailblazers takes us inside and takes us back to last week and shows us a couple of plays, the same plays, one worked and what didn't. Let's go for this week's film session.
All right,
want to start on defense this week with a couple plays that just illustrate how we need to improve and how we need to get a little bit more consistent on that side of the ball. So I'm going to start with a play early in the game that we gave up a long touchdown run. But I want to illustrate on this play right here. First, you're going to notice our 3 technique right here is going to end up on the ground. Our defensive end here is really going to get washed down. I mean, he starts here and he's going to get washed all the way down here to the hash. Now, a critical error on this play is as Tarleton pulls their guard right here, our linebacker needs to fit inside, so he's inside the pull, and then our DB here, Gabe Valenzuela, is outside the pull. Our linebacker ends up outside, so we have 2 guys outside, no one inside, and with the combination of this guy being on the ground, this guy getting washed down, there's just a huge opening and a huge seam here in the defense. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Just a critical mistake here is when we have 2 guys outside, no one inside, this guy down on the ground, this guy getting washed all the way down here to the hash. So there is a huge opening. You'll see our middle of the field safety is late getting over here. He's not able to run him down, and unfortunately turns into a touchdown here. You'll see just getting washed down, 2 guys outside. Here comes our safety, Brevin Hamlin, just can't get there. Number 4 outruns him to the pylon and scores a touchdown. But I'm going to show you the exact same play later in the game here. So this is just later in the second quarter, the exact same run play against the exact same defense. Now, a couple of the differences here. You'll notice our defensive end here, number 11, does a really good job getting knocked back here on the tight end. He doesn't get washed. He holds his ground. Our 3 technique, our defensive tackle here, is able to hold his gap. He stays on his feet. He doesn't get washed down. Our linebacker 36, now he's going to get this tackle up here in his face, but he still gets over the top of that block, and he will get inside of this pulling guard. DB gets up, sets an edge, and we've got a much different result on this play, which again, it is the exact same running play against the exact same defense that we saw on the 3rd play of the game. But again, much different result. When these guys are able to stay on their feet, press these blocks, stay in their gaps, he's able to get up, set a great edge, good fit by the linebacker. We get a much different result and a much more likable result on the play. So again, that just illustrates that fine line between winning and losing, being successful and not successful. And that's something we're striving for on the defensive side of the ball, is to just get more consistent, because we've shown what we're capable of. We just need to do it from start to finish. All right, I want to show you an offensive play against Tarleton State that just illustrates a well-designed play, outstanding execution, and a couple great individual efforts by the wide receiver here and the quarterback, Bronson Barbin. So let me start with the defense. This is a 3rd down and 10, and Tarleton is going to be in a cover 2 defense, which means this safety is responsible for this half of the field. The other safety is responsible for the other half. Both corners are going to be responsible for the flat, and then they're going to have a linebacker that they're going to run down the middle of the field right here. In this cover 2 defense, a couple weak spots that we want to attack when we see this is this hole right here between the corner and the safety, or this hole here on the other side between the safety and corner. So let's watch the play develop, and you'll see the cover 2 coverage by Tarleton State with safeties in each half of the field, corners out in the flat, and then here's that hole that we're trying to target. And one impressive thing that Bronson does here at quarterback, he feels a little bit of pressure here to his left, and he's just going to move to his right to give him time to make this throw. He's very calm, very poised. And now, well, you have got to give our receiver Bryce credit here, a ton of credit. Outstanding catch right here, keeps that foot in bounds, secures the football, and on top of things, this is a 3rd down, so critical down, great conversion here. This again illustrates more of the execution we want to see on the offensive side of the ball, especially on 3rd down.
Informative stuff right there. And Coach Anderson, when he says there's a fine line between winning and losing, he showed it to us right there. You can see why the Trailblazers haven't been successful because they can't do the good things enough.
They call football a game of inches.
Yeah.
And that's how it's won and lost. You step 1 inch outside your gap, it's a touchdown. Yep. You stay in your gap 1 inch, it's a 1 yard gain.
And he showed you right there every week. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will go inside the helmet where you used to reside, in the trenches, the point of view, perspective from an offensive lineman. That's when Trailblazer Kickoff comes back.
Welcome to St. George Academy, home of the Dragon Slayers, where academic excellence meets individualized learning right here in Southern Utah. At St. George Academy, we believe in challenging our students with rigorous curriculum, preparing them for a demanding college experience and beyond. And it's all tuition free. Our unique Pathway University program offers accelerated courses, allowing students to earn college credits in high school. Experience the St. George Academy difference, schedule your tour today, and join us on your educational journey.
Yesco is a proud partner of Trailblazer Sports Vision and Utah Tech Athletics. Yesco specializes in manufacture of custom electric signs and displays. From the smallest to the largest, Yesco can design, manufacture, install, and maintain an identification package that is tailored to your specific needs. Yesco has been serving Utah businesses for well over 100 years with quality signage and exceptional service. To see how Yesco can serve you, go to yesco.com.
Craving something sweet but healthy? Come to Berries and Cream, the original spot for fresh berries in our delicious sweet cream. Locally owned and operated right here in St. George. We offer a cold, refreshing treat that's perfect for the southern Utah climate. Fresh fruit has never tasted so good. Berries and Cream, the original taste of St. George.
Under 10 minutes until we kick things off, Utah Tech and Austin Peay, the Governors, looking for 2 in a row. Trailblazers looking for their first win of the season. All right, time now to go inside the helmet, get a point of view, a perspective from offensive lineman Bryce Crowley. You're going to love this one.
Yes, sir.
It ended with a camera malfunction and a little trash talking by defensive back Amari Pouncey. Here we go. Bryce Crowley, let's get inside the trenches.
Hi, my name is Bryce Crowley. I'm a junior here at Utah Tech University. I'm from Cedar City, Utah. Play O-line. Come join me in a day in the life in the trenches.
One of you guys has to make the decision who's out, right? If he fits outside, you're inside still, he's the U-turn. Okay, here we go.
Hey, you want to do it or no? Hey, you want to push it? Oh no! Let me see that. Hand it to me, please. Thanks. You know who it is, man. I'm over here. Fall the bottom of these boys, man. Look at these boys doing up downs. Look at that. You know who it is, man. It's your boy AP, number 9. Photo bombing it. Look at it, man. Coach is doing up downs. Look at him. Yeah.
There it is.
You know who fought the bombing it, man. Number 9, man.
Hey,
AP.
So what'd you do to our guy?
Man, we got to stop. You know what we do, man. That's what defense do all day, baby. That's all day, baby. Look at him.
Always the guy that don't talk the most.
All right, who are you? Let's go. What's your name, bro? Who are you?
You knocked the camera right off.
Well, I guess that means we're done now.
Hope you enjoyed hanging out with us big guys in the trenches today. Go Blazers.
All right, if Amari Pouncey wants some airtime on camera and trash talk, he's got to learn which side is up on the camera, right? You like that stuff inside the trenches, right? Good stuff.
That's the best right there. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, time now to get the final word with head coach Lance Anderson before kickoff.
Coach, last week at Tarleton, you had some plays that were right there that could have resulted in some big-time plays and scores, just a little bit off. So that's got to be a little promising that they're open for you.
Yeah, we've got to be able to convert those things, whether it's on offense, some of the drops, some of the missed throws, maybe a missed block here and there. We've got to be able to make sure we complete those things this week. And then defensively, we just started out slow. Then later on in the game, our tackling's much better, our fits, our leverage is much better. We've just got to be able to do those fundamental things from the very beginning of the game.
Across the middle, caught, 35-40, 45 out to the 47-yard line.
What do you expect out of Bronson Barban in his second start?
I expect big things from Bronson. I expect that he will play even better this week. He always plays with, great poise. He's calm. And I would expect him to make a big jump this week as well.
And you got the big guy, Annie Falai, back. Talk about that excitement and what that will allow you guys to do.
Oh, it's great to have Annie back. I don't want to set too high of expectations because he has been out for a long time, but he's had a good week of practice, and it's really going to help to get him back.
All right, so what do you expect out of this team? They've got to get fired up, and they got to take this thing to heart.
They really do. And we've got to really, the message this week so much has been about the fundamentals. And you saw a lot of that stuff in last week's game. Catching the ball, throwing the ball, blocking, tackling, getting off blocks, ball security. This week it's about the fundamentals, and we've got to be able to do those fundamental things from start to finish in order to have success.
When you look at Austin Peay, only a couple of wins, but they're going for their back-to-back road wins, so they're starting to gel.
They are. I think they're playing better and better as the year goes on. They got some very athletic players on both sides of the ball, two big, strong, hard-running running backs. They're a talented team, and I think they're playing well right now. The last few games they're averaging like over 200 yards a game rushing, so it will be another big challenge for us this week.
So what do you want to see out of your team this week that maybe you haven't seen in the last few weeks or even this season?
It's got to come back down to the fundamentals. Like, we've got to be able to do the fundamental things that football requires. Blocking, tackling, throwing, catching, punting, kicking, ball security, those things. We have to do those things at a higher level, and we've got to be able to do it from start to finish.
Sounds simple.
Sounds simple, but I know it is hard to do, especially when you're playing against a good team, and we haven't done those things at the level yet this year that we would like. But it is a simple challenge, and we'll see how well we do that on Saturday afternoon.
Okay, we're about ready for kickoff. Utah Tech and Austin Peay. You can watch this game on ESPN Plus or listen to it on the Fan Sports Radio Network with Devin Dixon and Caden Formaster. Don't forget, Trailblazer post-game show coming up right after the game here on Trailblazer Sports Vision and The Fan. Kickoff coming up next. Trailblazers and Governors. Thanks for watching.